I'm going to apologize right now. I know this is not a fair comparison, but I got to do it anyways. M&P versus PFC9. Is the Smith & Wesson better than the Polymer 80? Or is the Polymer 80 going to take that top spot and ease the M&P into early retirement? Obviously, that's a ridiculous question, and this is more or less a comparison between the two, because at the end of the day, really, I'm an M&P guy. Still though, the Polymer 80 does have some serious advantages. Let's talk about aftermarket support first. This is a category where the Polymer 80 is going to win against just about any handgun that's out there, hands down. After all, it is a Glock clone, and there are hundreds of companies making aftermarket parts for these guns. A company that's making holsters, barrels, triggers, mag extensions, anything that you can think of, the first products that they're going to bring to market are always going to be for the Glock. Generally speaking, a company will make its profits off of making Glock parts before it moves on to supporting pistols like the M&P. Anything that you can dream of doing to your pistol, you can find those parts for a Glock. That means the vast majority of those parts are also going to work with the Polymer 80. As far as the M&P goes, well, I'm finding more and more companies that are venturing out and making parts for this gun, and that makes me very happy. The popularity of the Smith & Wesson line of guns has just gone through the roof the last couple of years. You know, with the M&P 2.0, let's see, the Shield, the Easy series, people are absolutely loving these guns. Because of the explosion in popularity for the M&Ps, manufacturers are finally catching up to making parts for them. One of my favorite upgrades for the M&P is the Apex flat face trigger. Over the years, I have shot a ton of pistols, and the closest that I've been able to come to the feel of a 1911 is the Apex flat face trigger on an M&P. Now, I'm not saying that it's at that same level as a 1911 or a 2011, but it is as close as you're going to find. Now, that is specifically the M&P with that flat face trigger. I've tested the Glock version. Honestly, it's not even close. It's a drastic improvement over a stock Glock trigger, but it definitely doesn't feel the same as the M&P does with that flat face trigger. I'm going to keep trying different triggers for the Polymer 80, and if I do ever find anything that's close to what I'm getting from the Apex and the M&P, I'll make a video, but for now, that Apex and the M&P is where it's at. As far as accuracy goes between these two guns, it's pretty much a dead even race. Regardless of the sighting systems between the two guns, it is still possible to do a comparison between them. The real difference when it comes to red dot versus iron sights is going to be overall speed. I can get faster follow-up shots with my red dot than I can with iron sights, but as far as overall accuracy goes, the accuracy is going to be the same. Really, it's just with the iron sights, those follow-up shots are going to take a little bit longer. What I really care about for this comparison, though, is overall accuracy and consistency between the two guns. Both guns do really well in this aspect. This Polymer 80 is a pre-built. It is not the 80% that you go ahead and mill out yourself and then build up with all the best parts that you can get your hands on. That being said, it's surprisingly accurate and consistent considering its low price point. Really, I don't see any reason to consider changing barrels on either of these two guns because they're both just as accurate as I would expect for a concealed carry pistol to be. Neither of these two guns are Olympic shooting team type guns. They were designed for concealed carry. As concealed carry guns, they do very well. As long as you do your job with grip technique and good stance, these guns will be just as accurate as you need them to be. One of the biggest things for me with a handgun is the ergonomics. I can do all kinds of upgrades or modifications to fix different shortcomings that a pistol may have, but the ergonomics are always going to be the deciding factor for me on whether or not it's a good gun, whether or not I want to keep it, whether or not I want to carry it. Both the M&P and PFC9 have a grip angle that feels natural in my hand. They both have a super aggressive texture. For me, the more aggressive the texture, the better. They both have controls that are easy to get to and operate. As far as that goes, can we just take a moment to acknowledge how great the stock mag release is on the M&P? I've looked at all the aftermarket upgrades. None of them seem like they're going to come close to what comes stock on this gun. When you compare the mag release from the M&P to what comes stock on a Glock or the Polymer 80, it's a huge difference. The PFC9 is definitely better than a Glock, but the edges are sharp and they're a little bit jagged. That's definitely something that for me is a priority as far as changes on that pistol. You know what I wouldn't change on the Polymer 80? That double undercut. You know, at this point, why would any polymer pistol not come with an undercut? That's one thing that I wish the M&P had. I've seen people put the undercut into the M&P. I just wonder though, the trigger guard, it's already thin enough that I feel like the structural integrity would be compromised when cutting away material for an undercut. Now, I realize I'm probably a million subs away from Smith & Wesson ever giving two rats' ass less about my opinion, but come on, Smith & Wesson, it's 2021. Why can't you just make an M&P 3.0 with an undercut already built into the mold? While you're at it, extend that beaver tail out just a little bit. Regardless of those little improvements I'd like to see with the M&P, it just fits my hand. The grip on the Polymer 80, it's just a little too squared off for me. It's a great gun, but it just does not feel quite as natural in the hand for me as the M&P does. Both the PFC9 and the M&P are great pistols for your concealed carry needs. Everyone's different though. Don't take anybody's word for what's best for you. You actually have to get out and test a gun to know if it's going to be right for you. Pretty much every indoor shooting range has a rental program. I was in Skagit Shooting Range last week and I took a look into their rental cabinet, and it's actually pretty impressive, the selection of pistols that they have in there for rental. A good range is going to have a wide enough variety of handguns that you can go in there and you can find what's going to work best for you. As much as we all love handling firearms at the counter at our favorite gun store, there is a huge difference between doing that and actually getting range time with them. So, M&P, Polymer 80. For me, it's the M&P that wins. If you're looking at either of these guns, trying to decide which one is better, there is only one way to do that, and that's to get out to the range and test fire them. In the hand, at the counter, it may feel like the most amazing gun you've ever held. But then you take it to the range, and it's just pure dog shit. So, rent it, test it, make your mind up for yourself. The Polymer 80 or trusty old Smith & Wesson M&P.